I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And the mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word, but willing that you all can continue in sound doctrine in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwathiam, believers of His faith and His truth, Lord willing you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. The Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right, this is kind of a lay me back to the brother Shem Yawala. He had did a video on his sister. This article is on the app in the Apple Store, Smart News. Right, give you news throughout the world, news, CNN, World Star, news that's not even on TV or in the public. So the brother was speaking on this, and this is a very important lesson, especially for women. Now, even for you men, of course, women is going to cleave to the men of the Lord, because the Lord is going to reverse back to a man looking precious, but not just any man, the men of the Lord, right? Because you have so-called high value men of this world, really because they're high value because of money, or because they're an athlete or they're an actor. But, the Lord created this world for the righteous. And who's actually coming back to righteousness or trying to be worthy in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? That's the elect. Starting with, the 144,000 on down. So I'm going to read some of these points that's said in this article. And then I'm going to bring out some verses, because some women are going to be humbled and actually start seeing what society and really start struggling, right? And that's a form of them being humbled. And then now they're going to desire a man. Now, this lady, and it's another video, I think I deleted it off my phone a long time ago, where a lady was saying that it's hard to find a real nigga. It's hard to find a real man out here. So sisters is going to have to share a man. And the lady was saying, like, some women might complain and be like, they don't want to share a man, but he mainly is probably the only real nigga, out of a few, and I'm attracted to him. So now we gonna have to share that nigga. That's not your nigga, that's our nigga. That's the words that she was using. But in all, women are going to be sharing the same man, right? Sexual affection, right? Of course, we ain't talking about how they do it in the world, threesomes and all that other stuff, but sharing as in catering to that man, caring for him, right? You're gonna have duties as a wife, which pertains to marriage, which is consummating, or we could just say sex because we're grown, right? You're going to be having parts in that, right? Because that's what a woman wants. That's what a man desires too, right? And being protected, having somebody to lay their life down for you, somebody that's leading you to the kingdom. Now you see, I'm making this a set apart example, because I'm not speaking from men of the world. I'm speaking of men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? So let's just get into it. The title, it says, women says she's ready to do whatever it takes to get a man. I'm tired, I'm ready, right? And any woman that's saying that she's ready to get a man, and she'll do anything, she'll do whatever it takes to get a man. For some of you women, hey, that man might have, a mother of his child he's dealing with, right? He might have a girl that he's dealing with. And if you attracted or want him, guess what? If you want to do anything to have this man, you're going to have to accept the fact that you ain't the only one, right? Now, in the world, some women is with that in their own kinky thoughts. But we're talking about in righteousness, women are going to have to get with that, Now, it might be brothers that is in this faith that might have, extra wife or extra woman that they dealing with, or maybe a few women that they dealing with. Guess what? That is going to be the norm, especially when things get worse on this side, right? And we talking about a man that's gonna take care of that woman spiritually, mentally, and physically, and of course be there financially, but a woman is playing her part too when we line up with Proverbs 31. Just had to say. So it says, a woman's heartfelt, humorous, and deeply vulnerable video declaring she's finally ready to settle down with a husband has gone viral. So I'm going to get certain points out of this, like the little paragraphs are her words. So I'm gonna try to read mostly of those, right? So this is what she said. She said, I've mismanaged my life up to this point. She begins, I need a life manager. And I think the life manager I'm looking for is a husband, right? And God, I don't want to put too many precepts, so I'm gonna quote some. Like when you even go into the scriptures, a daughter is raised to leave her mother and father, right? And the first man that's the head of her life is her father, under Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And so then she cleaves to her husband. Now the husband takes the responsibility of leading, protecting, and providing, right? So, the husband is the true manager for a woman, because a man is a reflection of another man, a father. Then he passes his daughter unto you, right? You're the reflection as a manager, just like how the father was, right? And in this society, they made everything backwards, right? Oh, no, don't get a husband. You know what? Get your career first. Men don't care about you having a career, right? Let alone you women were created for man, right? Everything on your body was created for a man's eye, for a man's pleasure. You are made for a man, right? But this society takes that away, and most of our women cleave, to this society, cleave to this world. So that's why some women are going to be humbled even more, where they're going to try to go to some of these men they either turned down or didn't even pay no mind to, which is the men of the Lord, and you're going to become a pick-me. And most of the men of the Lord might say no to you, right? Especially if you come in with makeup, fake behind, fake chest, fake lips, wearing wigs and lace fronts. Most brothers is going to be very picky. And we're going to go into a verse later on. But that's beautiful that she's finally saying that she's mismanaged her life, right? So you go to the next paragraph. It says, I'm ready to sit down and to be quiet. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to wear matching outfits. I'm ready to go to the family events and be quiet. Let you talk. I'm going to bring you a plate. I'm going to fix you a nice plate. And it shouldn't take for, reality to kick in for a woman to have the thought of being silent or being ready, to be a wife or do the duties as making your plate or making your food, right? This would be as backwards, but this goes into like James 4:4, where most of our women are friends of the world, right? And the priority is messed up, but it all stems to the mother and father, the grandpa, the grandmother, right? And that is another true or fell attempt, because we are in captivity, right? So we're gonna have that, but most women in this time is going to be humble. A sidebar: you women that already are of the faith and you got a husband, or you're learning under a man and y'all haven't got to a level of consummating or anything, you're in a better position, right? Because especially a woman of the faith, a woman coming in the faith, a woman that's already being humble, right? You're going to be mainly a first choice, right? Especially you women that's already wives in this thing, right? You don't have to worry about being chosen or picked, right? Because the Lord already moved you in the hands or in the bosom of a man, truly, Lord willing, a man of the Lord. It doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, 3, however many of y'all are with a man of the Lord. You should really be like, praising and calling and magnifying Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because you really dodged the bullet. You really did, right? So now you want to stick to it, because you could be humble too. And instead of being that wife right there in that moment, you could be removed, right? And actually get destroyed on this side and become a last wife in the kingdom, right? So be thankful and grateful for even being a part of that man's life, right? Again, a woman was created for a man, not man created for a woman. There's certain things that she goes into where it talks about many online viewers saw themselves in her words, exhausted by career demands, disillusioned by dating and yearning for support and stability. And this is what she said, I guess. It says, "This job done wore me out. Y'all," she admits, "everything done wore me out." Right? And this really, Esau worn us out. What is it in Daniel the 7th chapter? They will wear out the saints. And that's what they're doing. I think that's Daniel 7:25. Actually, let's try to get that real quick. I believe this is Daniel 7:25. It says, "And he shall speak great," and this was going into the fourth beast leading to the small horn. "He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints," right? The faithful, the elect of the Most High, "and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and dividing of times," right? He's going to wear out the saints, right? Oppressors have us very low, right? As men and women, and even the children, are going to be worn out, right? I guess they say her declaration of wifely readiness, promising cocktails, business support, and fitness walks have divided viewers. Some cheer her on for being honest and expressing what many silent feel. Others criticize the message for reinforcing outdated gender norms, reducing marriage, right? Let's see. I guess they saying internet reacts, supporters say same sis, while critics call for self-love first, right? So some people are saying get self-love first. And most independent mind women of this world usually say that. Get self-love first. But that all stems from how are they being led from the mother and the father. It says, "Where is her husband already?" To sis, "Please start with therapy." Right? You got some saying where her husband at already. And then you got another one saying, "Please start with therapy." Right? The true therapy is a man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Right? To be truthfully honest. So it says, she just saying what a lot of women are afraid to say out loud. Another encounter says, "You don't need a husband. You need rest and a therapist," right? A husband is going to be a covering from the winds that come, right? The destruction that comes, especially if he's if he's a safe haven from those winds. He must be a man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? Because destruction is on his way. And only the elect men, all the way down to the elect lady and the elect child, right? They're going to be scarcely saved. And those are the faithful and those that truly believe in this thing, right? It says, what's undeniable is how deeply the monologue resonates in a time when women are increasingly vocal about burnout, emotional labor, and the pressure to do it all. Her plea reflects a raw truth. Many people want someone to help carry the weight, right? And imagine a man. But let's keep on going. I guess this is a response to what she said in the beginning, marriage as management, right? And when you go down to, I guess, what she said, I'll be your secretary, she promises. What do you need? God, I'm ready. But marriage therapists caution against entering into partnership out of exhaustion and desperation, right? They're saying caution that to have a partnership when you're exhausted and in desperation, right? You exhausted because of work. She says she wore out, paying bills, right? What does that have to do with a man? Most likely a man is, giving a woman a ride, right? A man might plant a seed into a woman, right? Let alone that man might be working and he can help bring in finance, right? When you keep on going, it says individuals must seek connection out of wholeness, not just burnout, said one licensed counselor. Otherwise, the relationship can become imbalanced very quickly, right? But that goes back to, especially when we bring in our scriptures, let's actually get it. I believe it's Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11:1, it says, a false balance is abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight, right? And truly, when you think if a woman had a partner as a man, right? Because especially when you're reading Proverbs 31, a woman is bringing something in the house. She's building her house, right? She's having a business, right? She's not just always, man do this, man do that, right? Because first and foremost, a man is going to try to make sure she got food and clothes. This society, a purse, a bag, pay all my rent, pay all my car bills, right? And a man, he might have certain bills. You ain't going to do nothing. Most women is trying to be a helpmeet and make it easier on her husband and make it easier for the house, right? A man is going to provide physically, spiritually, financially, let alone a woman that truly loves her husband, right? She's going to actually step in and actually help because it's going to make it easier. Two minds is better than one. Two finances is better than one, let alone if a man has another woman on the side. All that income coming in will make paying rent easier, let alone if, depending on the houses that you have, right? Depending if you're going out on an outing, everybody can chip in and you can still have money in your pocket, right? But hey, don't take my mind for it. Bottom line, humor, honesty, and a call for help. Whether you interpret the video as a rallying cry, a performance piece, or a genuine surrender, is viral success underscores a larger truth. Modern life has many people longing for deeper partnership, shared purpose, and yes, a little help managing it all. In the end, perhaps the woman's most poignant words were the simplest. I'm tired and I'm ready, right? And when is women gonna really notice this? Now, of course, we talking about finance, but when brothers is bringing out scriptures, it's gonna be a huge wave of women being humbled because now it's gonna be few men left, Not few men left as in, oh, there go Maurice, and then there go Javon that's always reading the word. No, few men left are going to be men that's actually knowing what the hell is going on, right? You over here scavenging, looking for food, breaking into a building. This person breaking into a building, but you got somebody else that's seeing the chaos and their mind is calm, right? Calling and depending on Yahweh Shem Al Shai. Those type of men are going to be few on the earth, where you have somebody that's connected and believing in Yahweh Shem Al Shai, instead of running the streets or running this world like a chicken with their head cut off. So at the end of it, I guess they just re-quote where it says, the post, women say she's ready to do whatever it takes to get a man. I'm tired, I'm ready. Prepared first on shine my crown, right? So she says she's willing to do whatever it takes, right? And that's something to really understand, that some women might say that, and you're going to have to swallow and hold your words. Because guess what? You could be walking past a man that's beneficial for you, and he might be dealing with a woman, or might be dealing with two women, right? And I'm talking about a man that's in this faith, walking in this faith, coming in this faith, that's true about Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? So now let's just get into these precepts, because the women that said don't get a husband, get a therapist, they're going to be most likely destroyed. They're not going to make it. Every man, nope, I'm good, right? With the lady saying she's tired, she need new management, right? She's actually speaking in a humble way, right? So let's just get into a few scriptures if we can. The first one is Isaiah 32 and verse 9 to 11. And I'm going to read in the KJV and the NLT. In the KJV, it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Right? Let's just look up that word real quick. Make it quick. Ease, absence of difficulty or effort. Effortlessness. Neutralness. Right? If we click it and go into the concordance or the interlinear of this word, that are at ease, Sayan on
Strong's H 7600. Sha'anan. Strong's H 7600. Sha'anan.
Sha'anan. At ease, quiet, secure, careless, wanton, arrogant. Well, you got pride, security. So pride, careless, and arrogant, right? So you women that are at ease, quiet, secure, careless, arrogant, right? Pride, right? So rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless woman. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Come on, man. That are quiet, right? That are prideful. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Trip you and make you bear and gird sackcloth upon thy loins. Right? You read in NLT, it says, listen, you women who lie around in ease. Right? Secure. Right? It's most of these women that, I got money, I got this, man, I got this business. Most of y'all women are at ease. You feel secure. Listen to me. You who are so smug, in a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care, right? And look at her. She's ready, right? She can't do this. I need new management. So now, instead of women saying, I want to be independent or hopping around from ride to ride, like I'm seeing videos at work where women saying, I'm I'm not being in a relationship. Like, I'm dating here and there. You know, I got needs. Then you got other women telling their nieces, their daughters and their nieces, they should be trying different Oscar Mayer Winkies, right, before you commit. See which one you like, right? You got bad influence for women, right? So that's why this humbling is gonna really change a lot of women's perspective. The worst has to come for a lot of women to know their role, right? In a time just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care, for your fruit crops will fail and the harvest will never take place, right? And this goes, most of our brothers and sisters don't have crop. Of course, it's talking about harvest, but look at the new modern day businesses. People got businesses, right? I'm either a nail tech, I'm doing makeup, I'm making clothes, right? I'm making my own limousine business, such and such and such. It says, tremble you woman of ease, throw off your complacence, strip off your pretty clothes and put on burlap to show your grief, right? All that stuff that made you have a glow and look good, right? Those wigs, lace fronts, those little mini skirts. A lot of y'all women ain't gonna wanna wear those things, especially a video that the brother Yarmayan showed that, a woman was going to the gym working out and some dude looked and was like, man, I gotta have it. And he went to go grape that woman. Grape. What is it? 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 18. Right? Your neighbor will spoil your house and take your goods. Another word for goods is possession. And Sirach 36, a wife is a possession. She's a good. You got Zechariah the 14th chapter, verse 2, where it talks about ravishing the women. You go look up that word, right, in the definition, that ravish lines up with grape. You read in the NLT, it just says it straight plain. You go to Lamentations, the 5th chapter, I believe verse 11, when the Babylonians came in our land, they ravished the maids and the women in the land of Judah. And Esau, right, Edom, even helped them, right, get the refugees out of the land, right? So you could imagine how that went. So what that lady's saying, she on perfect timing. Isaiah the 13th chapter, verse 12 to 14 in the KJV, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedges of Ophir. When you look up this word man, it goes into the word mankind. When you look up Adam, his name goes with mankind, right? And we know through the scriptures and through the spirit, for those that have ears to know, Adam is Yahushai is Adam, right? So if men are going to be more precious than fine gold, these men are going to be like Yahushai in the spirit. 1 John 2 and 6, if ye abide in him, you must walk as he do. Starting with the elect of the elect, 144,000, and the men on down, right? So they're going to be more precious than fine gold. Not all men, not Batista, right? Not a Drake, unless these men repent and be converted and come full force in his truth. But this thing is wrapped around those that are the welfare of the world. That's Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, verse 24. The wise are the welfare of the world. And what a wise king upholdeth the people. That wise king is Yahushai. And the wise people that are the welfare of the world is starting with the 144,000. And they got the rest of the tribes singing that song. Verse 13, it says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. right? That's plain, straight to the point. Because the day of the Lord, he's bringing vengeance. It's going to be a lot of people going straight, gonna get afflicted real bad. And if you know in history, when countries or kingdoms was being taken over, the weakest link was getting taken advantage, which is really the women and children. Back then you had daughters being sold for wine and boys being sold for harlots, right? So in this time, the Lord is changing the role and rising the men of the Lord and having them become more precious than fine gold. In America, you're not seeing that. Yes, you might see a rich man, but that's taken away from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Right? When you go into Jacob being a plain man, he was a righteous man. He was an upright man. Right? So the men of the Lord that abides in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, they're plain men. They're upright men. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 24:6. In the KJV it says, "Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left." Right? There's going to be few men left when all chaos break out. Right? With the MOTB, the famine of word, the MOTB being in Jacob's trouble. Just look at the time when Black Lives Matter. Look how people were acting during that time with riots. Right? This place is going to be in chaos. Let alone leading to the nukes dropping here. The elect is going to get scarcely saved. The Lord is, each day is moving towards that day. Right? You got a woman that was getting more than $500 in food stamps. Now she only getting $85, and I think she got more than 4 kids. Now she's saying that, man, she got to steal. If you see me stealing, just mind your business. Look what they doing to me. But guess what? It's going to get worse. Hey, and if you desire to be of the elect, you calling yourself the hopeful elect, you want this place to fall. I want this place to fall. I want to be of that number, right? I want to be of the Lord's 144,000, or just being of the elect, right? I want to be with the Lord. I want real justice. I want a righteous king to rule this earth, right? And hey, men of the Lord, hey, get ready. You about to be saying yes or no. Truly, you're going to be saying yes and no. You're going to be choosing, right? And we got a beautiful verse at the end. I want to go to this. This is a lot of controversy with this. I'm going to read this in the KJV and the Amplified Bible. This is Isaiah 4:1. It says in the KJV, "And in that day 7 women," which is a number of completion, "shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach." In the Amplified Bible, it says, "In that day 7 women will take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own food and wear and provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our shame of being unmarried." Right? Take away our shame from being unmarried. I think it's another one. I don't know if it's the ERV. Let me see. I don't know which one it is. I don't think it is the GNT. I don't think it is the GNT. Let's see if it's this one. So like your family. I'm gonna try. Um, I forgot what translation, but they kind of get more clear and clear. But this Isaiah 4:1 in the G&T, the Good News Translation, it says, when that time comes, 7 women will grab hold of one man and say, we can feed and clothe ourselves, but please let us say you are our husband, so that we won't have to endure the shame of being unmarried, right? But truly, how can a woman take a man's name, right? Because truly, to finalize a marriage, when you look up the word consummate has to deal with sex, right? Ain't truly a man just gonna hear a woman say, hey, just say I'm your husband. That's like getting a woman in from another foreign country and say, hey, just give me a visa and just say that you my wife. We ain't do this. This is something real. You got women that will be saved through childbearing, right? Women will be saved because their husband believing in this thing, right? Ain't no faking the funk, right? So anybody thinking that, oh no, they just gonna take his name, he ain't gonna do, no. To say you my husband, that brother is sticking that, right? And we talking about a very severe time in the world, right? Let's go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, because if she's saying, just say that you my husband, a brother can really, especially we talking about a man of the Lord. This is Genesis 3:16 in KJV. It says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Right? So just say it. Just say if we went with the logic where she said, hey, just say you are my husband. Now that I'm just saying that I'm your husband, guess what? Not that husband, he's supposed to rule over you, and your desire shall be to thy husband. So if I'm gonna just say, hey, I'm her husband, they walk away, and I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, look, I'm gonna need you to get in the room, because I'm your husband. It's over, right? And what that lady said in the joint, she's willing to do whatever, right, to have a partnership, right? You just don't build with somebody and you just got a partnership. There's levels to this, right? Well, look at Isaac when he seen Rebecca, he took her right to his mother's tent. No long conversation. He knew it was, hey, it is what it is, and she became his wife. Right? We talking about a scarce time in the world. What we catching up on? Literally. That's why through the spirit that woman saying she ready, she's talking. She really talking that talk in the spirit. I want to use my other Bible app so I don't lose that verse right there. I'm going to go to Sirach. These are my last two. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26. And I'm going to read verse 10 and then drop down to 25. It says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through over much liberty. And this is why our women is the way that they is. Being independent, doing what they want. You know what? Now I need new management. Why you been wasn't seeking management? Why wasn't you been seeking order? right? Is because, you know, we have been failed by our grandparents, our mothers and fathers, especially our daughters. They shouldn't have too much liberty, too much freedom. Now they're thinking for themselves, they're moving for themselves. You got women that could be 37 and never had no kids, right? I mean, that'd be amazing, 37 and a virgin, or a woman that was 21 and a virgin, or 20 or 22 and a virgin. Most women is raised at a certain time to actually go lose their virginity, and then their whole life they just hop from ride to ride, you know, like they just hopping on different slides, right? It says it in the same chapter, the 12th verse, right? She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow, right? You can read in the GNT too. So she's open her leg to every rod. And this is what this society push. That's why we should be strict on our daughters. Back in the ancient world, we were arranging marriage. So when you come in this faith and you got daughters, you arranging those marriages, right? Some women that got in this truth and you with the man of the Lord, a lot of you women wasn't arranged in that marriage, but it was arranged by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? It's all by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But these lessons allow you to really humble yourself too. You know, a lot of women that came in the truth, you really missed a bullet. And it was all by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But let's drop down to verse 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. When you read in the GNT, we know what a female dog is. It's a bitch. Excuse my French, but I ain't speaking French. So a shameless woman, right? A woman that's not shamefaced. A woman that's not embarrassed. A woman that's not taking accountability. Right? A woman that's not loving is silent in verse 14. That's a shameless woman, and she gonna be counted as a dog. But she that is shamefaced, embarrassed, right? That's why real women of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is too ashamed to be outside, especially where she can be getting hit on and all different types. It doesn't even matter if she don't even tell her husband, right? Or if you on social media, where you can socialize and brothers can see you post pictures, oh sister, you look good. And just speaking of that, just seen a brother on social media, they just screenshotted him hollering at another brother's wife, talking to basically saying he could do way better. You know, sister, I know you hurting right now, but you know, I can make you feel way better. You know, saying such and such and such, and a brother seen it and say, yo, bro, why you inboxing my wife regardless whatever she going through? And this is a brother that so-called know the name of the Lord. And I know we all make mistakes, you know, but a lot of times, hey, guess what? The Lord will reveal it and make you as an example or make you a video, you know. And that's another thing on both sides. A man shouldn't have his wife promoted on social media, because then eventually somebody gonna try to socialize with her. That's what social media is for, to socialize, right? A shamefaced woman is not trying to be in every man's face, right? Let alone she ain't trying to be in no man's face, right? If we talking about brothers and family, right, we can understand that. But brothers that's not family, brothers that's not on the same accord, right? Brothers that's not of kin, a real woman is not trying to be in another man's face, not even trying to allow a man to make you smile where he can feel, oh, I got her. You know, a woman that's shamefaced, right? She's embarrassed to have that, embarrassed to show her cleavage. Doesn't matter where, top, bottom, she's too embarrassed to show her cleavage. She's too embarrassed to be out of order. She's too embarrassed to bring shame to her husband or to her household. That's a real shamefaced woman, right? So now let's go to this last one, and then we'll close. This is Sirach, chapter 36, verse 21 in the GNT. It says a woman has to take any man as a husband. And this is true. A woman can take any man as a husband, right? But it's better for a woman to take a man to the Lord, especially if she's, God-fearing. If she's fearing Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai, she should be getting a man that fears the Lord. That goes with Sirach 26, verse 1 and 3. It says, but a man must choose his wife carefully, right? In Jacob's trouble, when this Isaiah 4 and 1 happened, men are going to be choosing very carefully. It's going to either be a yes or it's going to be a no, right? In most cases, if a brother's saying a no, guess what? You don't fit the requirements, sister. You don't. And that goes back to what I said earlier. For the woman that is connected to a man of the Lord in this thing, you really missed the bullet, and the Lord had mercy on you, right? However it happened, or when it happened, or how long you've been with one of the men of the Lord, right? That's a blessing right there. That's a gift right in front of you. Actually, that's a prize, because a loving silent woman is a gift, but a man of the Lord, he's a prize, right? Because we know that the elect men are going to be few in the earth. Lord willing, your husband is one of them. Lord willing, he's going to be one of those ones, to cover you or hide you from that wind. And it's not just literally just him. It's because he is covered by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Truly. So his brothers is going to be choosing women carefully. Doesn't matter if a man got a wife. When times get hard, right? You're going to be choosing women carefully, man. Right? When time get hard and you eating and other people not eating, and a sister see you, I'm telling you, she going to try to make her voice sound so soft, and she's going to be alerted to you, your aura, your attraction. Hey, it's some brothers out here that would say some women be looking at men when they going out somewhere with their girl, because they look even more attractive when they're in a committed relationship, right? A lot of women is not the same as other women, but that's just giving you true information. Some women is attracted to men that are in a committed relationship. Right? When Jacob trouble come, it's not about how attractive you is or this. It's going to be that glow in you. Right? The Lord is going to be the swarming women as some of you men. You single men, you men that are in a union with a woman or two women. This is just bringing out facts. This is bringing out facts. It's going to get so real that the true covering on the earth is going to be the covering of a man of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Right? Because if the man of the Lord abides in Hamashiach Yahushai, he abides in him. That's an ultimate covering. Right? So I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And double honors to the elder apostles again, who rule well and teach well in Great Millstone. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word. And shalom to the Akwat Yam, that are believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, y'all continue in the same spirit, in the same sound doctrine. And Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Shalom.